So for this one, guys, we're going to talk about this Tiny and Rick situation because Tiny seems to be getting really embarrassed with some of the stuff that Rick is saying about him. He doesn't want none of this stuff to come out, and he is aiming his attention towards Rick's instead of Bouncer all the time, which we are used to. And this is an old man who is really trying to get fame, and he is still trying to do whatever it takes to get to that position. He's realized he's wasted his whole life with GB, and now he has absolutely nothing to show for it. And he is just running around talking everybody's business or doing whatever he can to get a name for himself. He is even going so low as to put 14-year-olds in contracts and do all of this sorts of stuff. He's even tried rapping himself, which at this point is just so weird because he doesn't understand that age really is a number at this point. You're meant to be growing old gracefully, not trying to find internet fame at age of 60 like you are Baz and whatever the other guy's name is. And at least those guys are likable, whereas you, all you do is talk about Bouncer and Mark Lamdy, and none of these guys even like you, especially Mark Lamdy. He has no love for you at all whatsoever because he knows how much of a scumbag you really are. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips of this guy because it needs to be understood the sort of character that Tiny really is.
Paranoid, I don't even need a reason. GB found it, it's just that season. I swear that I dropped that snitch for treason. Blue blood, I'm back home and I'm not leaving. On-site Bible, yeah, I'm squeezing. Making duppies, I just like the feeling. Psycho, I don't have to break the cycle. Scarface and John Gotti, they were my idols.
RTM's finished. They're finished. And they're finished because Spray is in a whip, rolling over to North. He's got a South man in the car who we're referred to as Mystery Man from South.
The man left you like a teabag, bro. You should be uttering his name, bro. Shut up.
Come on, man, Tiny, man.
What are you talking about? A man left you like a teabag. Have you seen the video, bro?
No, but Tiny, that is mental, bro. That's his PTSD, bro, man. That's below the belt.
Bro, big man ting, bro. The man left him like a teabag.
You're a slag. You're a bit of a slag, Bouncer. Anything you reported on it.
They're signing NK to Star Music Limited. He's the second artist we've signed this week, but because of his age, he's under 16. We've got to get consent from his mum before he can sign the contract with us. The same video that Bouncer posted about Spen, I reposted it. It's on my platform now. How about that? No one ain't called my phone.
You think Tiny would realize at this point no one actually likes him? Now, we can discuss a bit more of Tiny later on, but the point being is that all of this tension now has been directed to Rix because Rix has been embarrassing Tiny to levels which he cannot comprehend. He's even asking Justo to get Rix to take this stuff down.
Rix, surprise, surprise, you've decided to start vlogging, and you thought, who can I use? Let me use the big bad wolf who's violated most of my orders.
See, when it comes to us as black men, we need to look at different exhibitions of mental health, and Tiny is definitely fitting into that category because this is a guy who's literally lived a life in a gang and decided that at this point he wants to be an informer because the gang is no longer paying him or giving him the street credibility which he thought he had in the first place. So now he's very sour and trying to come after people, like I said, who do not care about him, not one bit. Now, the thing is, you'd expect Tiny to be an open book, but clearly he has done no interview which hasn't been biased or asked about his old gangster stories in the 80s and 90s, which no one actually cares about, or how Tiny thinks, which nobody actually cares about. We just want to know certain other questions, like, have you been run out of ghetto? We'll get into that. But the point being is that when he done an interview with Dark Desk, he tried to do the most to get out of these questions. And then when he realized this interview was going to go really bad because he lied in the interview and said things that people would not agree with, he decided to get lawyers involved. But let me let Dark Desk explain to you in this clip.
It was 1 hour and 34 minutes long. So basically, it's about 30 minutes in from when I've sent him it and he's rung me up. I'm like, yeah, what's good? He's like, you ain't putting that out. He said, okay, you're talking to me. I said, what do you mean? We both stood there, we done the interview, we patterned up, and now let's roll. Nah, you ain't putting that out. There's no way that's going out, rude boy. Don't you know I am? Stuff like that he's patterning on to me. And then I'm like, nah, man, it's going out. I've come up there, I've wasted my money, I've done the interview, I want something. He's like, what? You're trying to extort me. I paid for your parking, you ain't getting nothing else off me, that. So I'm like, listen. So he's like, I ain't listening nothing. He's telling me like, listen, he starts talking lawyers and solicitors and all this shit, and he's been taping our convos. So man better delete his footage. I'm thinking that's all dead to me, big man. For starters, man's broke, so you can't get nothing. Secondly, it's my footage. You can tell me not to post it, but you can't tell me to delete it. I'm the one who done the footage. So anyway, he's gone on for a bit about it, best get deleted, and man's not having that put out there to everyone. We've had a little in and out, and then obviously the phone's gone dead. That's the end of it. Never heard from Tiny again. Never gonna. Because I don't play that taping, man. Them conversations that get taped, they're dead. So me and him can't talk on the phone again. Because I've had that before, people trying to set you up with tapes, taping up their finger and then cutting them. That's foul. That's a girl thing.
A man who's so willing to record phone conversations all the time cannot be trusted one bit. I'm telling you for free. The thing is with Tiny, he's trying his hardest to control his image, and this is the thing. When he done this interview with Dark Death, after he left, he started to realize that this wouldn't look good if this was to come out and make it major and viral, like he tries to say that he goes. And the thing is, I'm not going to disagree, because there is some moments that I would say so, but all he does is beg for attention at this point, and he knew this interview was going to go bad because people would have found out about his lies and would have probably exposed him. So therefore, Tiny decided that he had to do whatever it took within his power to get this interview shut down. And the thing is, if you listen to the questions, which I'm going to play in this next clip, you understand why Tiny really didn't want this interview to be shown. Because if people had heard the nonsense that he was going to talk and the lies that he had spewed, they would have questioned that. And they probably would have come and done an interview with Darkness as well, just to speak on the fact that Tiny is actually a rat. And it's just one of those things that everyone knows, especially if you live in South London.
Right now, if you wanted to just roll up into ghetto, could you do that? Or is there a man up there just saying, nah, listen, Tiny, you can't come back here? What reason would Del P have to change his mind on you being certified GB? The name, Sagai. You tell me, big man, what's the situation with you and Sagai, and how would you be if you see him tomorrow and he saw you?
What made you ask that?
Because obviously he's back from the New Cross ghetto area. And he's one of the people that was said to me by numerous people that he ain't feeling you. And he was one of them that said to you, you can't come back to the New Cross area. And people are saying, listen, Arthur Penny and you. So they're saying you robbed all his jewellery off his girl. You took her, you took all his jewellery. When he found out, he was on to you. Enough of the younger 28s was on to you. But luckily for you, no one ever caught up with you like that. What do you say to that? And obviously, before you say, we're going to know that you were around certain man. Like obviously Quincy's family, there's other 28s that you're nice with. But the story still stands from the people that, listen, younger 28s and him was on to you.
Yo, big man, don't let them turn your thing into a comedy thing, you know. Big man thing. Yo, bro, what are you talking about? Oh my God.
Just seemed to
You need to make some key observations here. If you listen to this laugh, it's a laugh of a nervous man. Like, listen to it again.
Yo, big man.
Secondly, look at the way that he is sipping this drink. It's like it popped up out of nowhere. Look, it just popped up. It was like it was his anger and frustration at not knowing that he would be asked these personal questions or questions that he didn't like in this interview, but he didn't know that Darkness was going to ask these things, and this really set Tiny off. And this is what stopped Tiny from releasing this interview in the first place. Now, we thought Justo and Tiny was going to develop a relationship, and we are so happy that they didn't, because at the end of the day, Tiny is just a bad guy, and I don't think that Justo realized this, but when he did, he just broke ties with Tiny, and this is just something that would have happened because everyone can see how toxic Tiny really is. Now, Rix has called out of a couple people, which has been Pinky, Annie, and obviously Tiny, and to be fair, all three of them have bit to the bait, and this has helped Rix kind of get himself back into the algorithm. And Tiny is just relentless at this thing, and Rix started off this whole conversation just by saying this, and it's really just set off Tiny. Like, watch this clip.
What are you doing for the people then? Talking about you got 4 businesses. Do you think people's idiot? People go on company house. Someone go on company house, type in his name and see if he's got 4 companies. You know what I'm trying to say? Fucking idiot. And his name's out there because he talks about he's legit a journalist now, so making it acceptable to be in farming on Lambie and all them things there. You get me? Stop in farming, blood. Be in farming you're doing. Just like you're trying to put elbows on people. Of course you are. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing is going to put elbows on people. You know what I'm trying to say? You're a roadman and you read books, blood. You're a fool, blood. You're an idiot for that. I chat to big man and they just say you're an idiot, blood. You know them ones there? But we're cancelling you. Sitting in your YMCA talking about Justo's running down the road naked. What kind of thing is that, blood? Huh? What's wrong with you? You're not no journalist. You're an informer, blood. That's all you're doing. Trying to put elbows on people, blood. I hope one day Spray and Chronic catch you. They're going to brock you up, you see. I hope they can.
Now, this was all that Rick said. And as I said before, Rick's also sent for Pinky and Annie, or Anna, whichever one you want to call her. But at the end of the day, they were all sent for, and Tiny seems to be relentless on this fact that he has 4 businesses. And now, why I believe this, it is also questionable how much these businesses actually make. But we're not here to determine what sort of businessman Tiny actually is. However, out of all the stuff that Rick's actually said about him, he was very annoyed at the fact that he had mentioned the fact that he was a businessman and didn't have any businesses. So this naturally made him annoyed, and he decided that he was going to call these guys out because that's what Tiny does. Tiny needs someone to beef so he can put himself in the algorithm, because otherwise nobody really cares.
I'm still a bit confused. I'm not confused. I know why you've done it, because obviously I'm viral. You're going to get views. Let's see what your next subject is. I don't think you're going to have a very successful career because you kind of, you struggle to string a proper sentence together. You don't articulate yourself very well. Everything's "you get me." That's between you and God. Why come on the internet talking bollocks? You ain't got 4 companies, Tiny. Do you think we're stupid? We know about Company House. I told you about Company House. Did you put my name in Company House? You obviously didn't. Why didn't you put my name in Company House? Because someone's whispering in your ears and you thought, fucking hell, this is true. Tiny ain't got any companies. Let me do a fucking video. It would have taken you 1 minute. Try it now. Carlon Robinson. Put it into Company House. Go on. I put your name in. You ain't registered your company. You ain't got a fucking company. Have you? You're like Justo. You're on the fucking dole, so you can't register your fucking company. Hey? This session's been going for 2 years. 2 years. It doesn't even exist. And I put you both on warning. I'm giving you lot the session 1 week to register your company, or I'm going to register it.
I've got to say, I honestly hope that Tiny actually buys a session, because that might mean that Justo and Ricks work back together and leave Big Mac in the dust. Tiny has 4 businesses, which makes it great on books, but no one is actually talking about the numbers, and neither is he. So we don't even know what they do. And like I said, I'm not going to go and research his numbers. But the point being here is that Tiny is always looking for some sort of clout or some sort of argument so he can have an algorithm battle and see what happens, and if he can manage to go viral talking about these people. And he says some atrocious things. But at the end of the day, this situation then develops when Ricks decided that he was going to mention something which, Tiny clearly didn't want to be mentioned, because this would change the whole trajectory of his career. And I don't mean in a particularly good way either. But at the same time, we need to remember that Justo had a relationship with Tiny as well at one point. But the thing is, this relationship seems to have gone not sour, but more than what Tiny thought it was. And this is key, because Tiny seems to not understand that no one trusts him or believes anything that he actually says. But a conversation between him and Justo should have been more than enough for him to be aware that Justo just does not prefer Tiny over Ricks.
But I don't even know why you'd even still entertain him if he done that to you.
Hold on, let me show you why, I deal with Ricks. I genuinely, have so much love for this brother, like, I don't think people understand, Rich is a person, don't get me wrong, what he done was wrong. He shouldn't even be around, man. Furthermore, he shouldn't even be around at all. Like, when I mean at all. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we know the rules of the game, how the game is. See, when I forgave Ricks, when I forgave Ricks on all of that situation, I was out of the game. I'm not even playing the game no more. You see what I'm saying? That's why people don't seem to understand. But when I tell people the story, it's because he really likes to stand on business to say that he is not a snitch. But I'm saying to him that you really are. No one was with Ricks. No one in the end was with Ricks. But you see, once I said to everybody, yo, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Everybody only started with Ricks because I was the one that started. I said, you know what, fuck it. Let him in and let him roll with the man then. But in all honesty, the man them don't really deal with him strongly like that.
Now we've proved that point. The next thing that Ricks decided to come out with was something that really annoyed Tiny. Like, Tiny was really bugging out when Ricks mentioned this, and this is what I'm trying to talk about, when he was exposed for doing certain things. And we already know Tiny's got some nasty tactics because he robs women, and he made that very clear in the Darkness interview. Even if he didn't really say anything, it was just the way he nodded his head, and got annoyed at the fact when he turned around and said to him, Darkness TV, I'm mentioning, that he had people onto him. That's when Tiny got mad. But everything else he was pretty calm with. So this sort of stuff, I can imagine Tiny to be doing. Like, listen to what Rick said about Tiny.
But you never tell the truth why Lambie was beating Khan after you. Boom. I'm going to tell the people. So there was a woman called Afira that Lambie used to link. He's gone and jinnles the woman because she didn't know that that's Tiny that's got an issue with Lambie. You get me? So he's got up in her head, got up in their yard and all them thing there. You know what the madman went and done? He told her to phone Lambie. So he obviously was trying to lowering Lambley. I don't know why, because he never had no dog on him. You get what I'm saying? Never had no machine on him. So boom, now when she's saying I don't have my phone and all of that, he's like, you're lying, rah. So my man started mashing her up. So she's running around the house, innit? So she's managed to get her phone, call Lambie, boom, and throw the phone in it. So Lambie can hear everything. Blood, this man is mashing up the girl. Affaira, you know what I'm talking about. You know who Affaira is. So he was around mashing her up. Lambie, rah. You tell him when you see him, rah. Mashing her up. That's why they came and beat Khan on you that day. You get what I'm trying to say? You tried to say it was some girl and Riri that you was linking. You know it was Affaira that was, you know what I'm trying to say? The gal, blood. Yeah, she's not going to inform on you because she's road, innit? When you talked about when you come to Northwest London and you was in Stonebridge Complex and you walked through with your gun and brother, that never happened, blood. The bridge man, them, they held you and bust your face, blood. They bust your face, blood, made you leave your shoes, blood. You know them ones there, take away your gun, blood. It wasn't no Uzi. I don't know what machine they took off you. I don't know, but they take away machine off you and mash you up and make you run in your left with your shoes, blood. You get what I'm trying to say?
Now, as you can hear how graphic that story is, it's really not nice what Tiny done at all. This isn't something that men do or gangsters, and this is just weird behavior. And anybody that thinks that this is what men should be doing is just weird as well with Tiny. Now, Tiny, we also know, is an informer, so this becomes a problem. Tiny is also a woman beater and does other things that he should not be doing and isn't allowed. So therefore, Tiny should be on the list of really cancelled because he is just nasty work. And this is the thing, as soon as Tiny heard this, he knew that he had to come up with something to say, because at the end of the day, this is the sort of situation that you don't want, especially if you're trying to be a big producer and sign kids up to your music label. People ain't going to want to do that. They're not going to want to work with you. Why would they want to work with you? What's his reply to this situation?
Storyteller. You're a storyteller now, yeah. If you think anyone's gonna believe that nonsense you put out, you've lost your mind. Me, come over to Northwest. Back in the day, got my head bust up, machine taken off me, mash up, left my shoes over there. You see, that's the real story. Not me and Yankee rolling over there and having everything patterned. No. So when I told this story 6 months ago, in response to the last time you popped your little delinquent head up, why didn't you say it then?
Now, isn't it funny the fact that he decides to address the fact that he may have got violated or didn't get violated instead of the other facts about what he done to somebody's woman, especially that person being Mark Lamdy's woman? Now, I don't know whether Tiny done this, but the way he is looking around as if to say someone's about to call him out on his nonsense, like he knows that he done this, but that's just my personal opinion. And let's be honest, anyone who's there to verify this story is probably old and probably can't even remember properly. Let's be honest, keep it real, Tiny. Now, this really did set Tiny off because Tiny also thought that he was going to do something to try and throw Ricks off and make Justo and Ricks argue. And this actually backfired for Tiny because Tiny didn't realize that Justo was just trying to set him up. And this is the problem here, because Tiny thinks that he is better than everybody else and people actually rate him, where no one actually respects Tiny whatsoever because they know his history. And it's easy to find out anything about Tiny if you know the right people.
Into Company House, directors, it comes up immediately. GCM TV 1, Cancel Productions 2. Then if he checks America, he sees we've got a Cancel Productions in America. Which I'm a director of, alongside Hollywood fucking royalty, Magnus Fines. And then we got the Isle of Man company. But that guy's so backward, he didn't even check, just come online talking nonsense because people talking nonsense in his ears. I'm in Brighton. What am I doing in Brighton? Do I live in Brighton? Jesus are backwards, bruv. I just play games with these guys, man. Take videos by the sea. You get it? You know, like that. Do a couple of videos where the sea goes in the air when I'm passing through. You get it, man? Yes! He's in Brighton again. Man, seen him in Brighton. He's up there. He lives there. Please. But yeah, brother. Drive safe. Take time, man.
Yeah, man. You already know the deal, man. With Ricks, you know he's trying to build momentum. You know what I mean? Obviously, I think he's seen with all the madness that's happening, he's just pushing himself back into the game. But yeah. You already know, man. Definitely.
Now, as you can hear, Justo doesn't really say much about Ricks. He just says that he's trying to get himself back into the algorithm, which is pretty true. But Tiny took this for him, dissing him, and tried to drop this and make it seem like he was exposing Justo. But what he didn't realize was this was all a game. It was all a play that was set up by Ricks and Justo just to help boost him back into the algorithm even more. And this is how it ended up because Ricks had a reply for this straight away.
All that pip disabled money you're getting, why don't give some to your daughter, like for £20 or something? But anyway, you lot be careful of my man. He's recording conversations. He didn't know Justo set him up. You get me? Now he's using what Justo, because he recorded the conversation with him and Justo. Do you think you're gonna break me and Justo up? That we're breaking you down. Not like an ounce breaking you down in pebbles. Like the half of sixes you smoke. You know, can you smoke half of six? You rattled your cage, innit? Your little skeleton came out the closet, innit? Here you go. Little skeleton come out the closet, innit? I got more, but I couldn't be asked, man. Get me? Couldn't be asked, my brother. What you done now? Go fuck yourself. Touch me? Talking about you're gonna make someone touch me. Taste something. I'm gonna tell you straight. If I get touched, no one gets touched.
Now, I know that Ricks crossed the line by talking about the daughter, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't really happy with you saying that, Ricks, because his daughter's clearly not involved in his life and has no care for Tiny, because Tiny never shows her, and that's pretty obvious. So we don't need to bring his daughter into it, or his granddaughter, or anything like that. And to be fair to Ricks, he did apologize, but I'm just not going to play that clip for you because there's no point in me saying that because this is not necessary for this story right now. But what we can say is that Tiny is just a joker, and he is a snitch, which he also confirmed to Justo also. So on this tape right here, listen to this clip.
Brother, call Ricks, bro. He needs to take that down. He needs to apologise, bro. Not just take it down. He's slandering my name, my brother. No disrespect. Yeah? We tell lies. Danny Lambie might feel a little better after fucking today, trust me. Yeah, when the hitters went for them, then I've snitched. No one's really wanted to speak out before.
Now, by doing this, he all but confirmed the fact what Ricks was talking about might have been true. Now, I don't think Tiny expected this play to go this way, and this really annoyed Tiny. Tiny was ultra mad about this situation. So mad that he put himself in a situation where he basically exposed the fact what everybody knows already, that he's an informer, he's a snitch, and he will take up evidence and try to use it against you in the long run. And this is something that he just displayed before, but he also talks about the fact that he would literally go to the police and take out injunctions and stuff like that. And it's so weird because this is meant to be an ex-roadman. So obviously the tables have been turned and he is turned into a straight journalist / snitch. Now, I don't care how bad you was in your lifetime. Once you turn to a snitch, you are a snitch, you are a rat. You are one of those people that are at the bottom of the list. And to be honest with you, let me warn everyone before, this was very graphic what he was talking about Justo as well. And we're going to speak about it after when I finish this clip up.
I just sent him a message like, bro, don't send me no more messages. Just drop me out, innit? You get me? I'm not listening to your shit. Let's go away kind of vibe. So I'm putting you on notice. If I get one more message from you, I'm going to the police station to take out an injunction. Look at your mate Ricks. He came out 2 days ago. And he's like, yeah, you're in the YMCA. I saw him today in his council flat. He went live. He's sitting like this, and the ceiling was no more than, I'm gonna post the thing later. The ceiling's no more than 1 foot above him. And he's short. Yeah? He's in this small little council yard. How do I know it's a council yard? Because it's like a fucking matchbox. Then he came outside, the little donut. I'm screen recording. Come on, man, you know my thing. For you to wake up this morning and send me those messages, I don't know what they said. After the post you done yesterday, I'm thinking your mind's gone. But then I checked it. And I remembered your story. You watched your father get raped in front of you. You watched your grandfather get raped in front of you. And then you said they made your cousin shoot your aunt to save your life. That's ruthless. I think they dug out your bottom too. That's what I think.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Tiny has a bit of pleasure when he's talking about the situation because it is to do with men on men action, and he sounds like he is seriously aroused. Now, this is very weird for somebody who's meant to be a road guy who carries on talking about people and what has happened to them in their past, especially something that they couldn't do anything about as they was a child. So, what are you actually talking about? And this is really annoying because I have to give Justo respect, regardless of whatever anybody else thinks about him. At the end of the day, he has come from a war-torn country and come to England and made better for himself, even if that took a while for him to do. He is trying to improve daily, so you've got to give the guy a chance. But Tiny talking about this just shows you how low of a person this guy is, because for him to talk about something that happened to Justo as a child and try to make fun of that, you can just tell that this isn't I just can't even get into it. Just being a snitch should be enough for you to analyze his character. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this one. Like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.